It is 8 p.m. at the Standard Group printing press. This place is about to be a beehive of activities, and by tomorrow morning, there will be a copy of the Standard newspaper near you. Hello and welcome to this episode on how newspapers are printed. Have you ever wondered how your daily paper is produced and delivered to you every morning? Well, today we are going to take you behind the scenes of the Standard newspaper, one of the leading newspapers in Kenya, and show you how they make their paper from start to finish. Along the way, we will also share some interesting facts about newspapers in Kenya. So, let's get started. According to a survey report on the state of media by the Media Council of Kenya in 2021, approximately 7 million Kenyans above 15 years old consume newspaper content. The Standard covers national and international news, politics, business, sports, and entertainment. The first step in making a newspaper is gathering the content. The whole process can be divided into 4 main parts. That is content gathering, pre-press, press, and post-press.
The process always starts with collecting the news. That is normally the job of reporters. So countrywide, we have bureaus, and you have reporters. So they'll get assigned stories. That normally happens in the morning. So once they get the stories, that is when they, normally at the bureau, they're going to have a chat with the bureau chief, and then the story gets transmitted to us so they can file the story.
The Standard Group uses a system called convergence in news gathering. In this system, all necessary content can be posted and accessed at a centralized point. When reporters file stories to this centralized system, it is received at the intake desk by news editors.
So once they get to the intake desk, the editors are going to have a look at the story, see if there are any gaps, then they'll come up to, now we're in the print hub. This is the output for the newspaper.
The print hub involves sub-editors and quality editors. It is at this point that the chief sub-editor decides how the news articles and stories are prioritized. Which story goes to which page and how much space does it need. They then distribute the stories to sub-editors for editing.
We normally say the newspaper belongs to the chief sub when it comes here, because it's his responsibility to look at all the stories.
As that is going on, the graphics team is already working on tomorrow's newspaper design. Let's head over there and see what goes on their desk before we continue.
The role of a designer, or I call it a creative designer, is actually the packaging, how the product comes out in the market visually. So we have basically people who present the content in an attractive manner, and a manner that which is easily digested and easily, for example, for the reader to understand a story or a content in terms of use of graphics, use of photos. So it's a combination of many elements. We can have graphics, we can have photos, then the layout generally, so that the page doesn't look very boring and the product is presentable in the market.
So the next time you're walking past a newspaper vendor or shop and you happen to be visually attracted to the front page and you end up spending time reading the paper, you should know it's Dan's fault. They are quite good at their job.
My name is Dan Weloba. I am the Deputy Chief Graphic Designer for Audiovisual.
Dan says it takes more than learning the graphic software to be a creative designer in a major media house.
Designers are meant to be alive to content, so we are like journalists. So whenever I sit down, I'm supposed to be alive to what is happening, the events of the day, so that visually I can have that mental picture of how to present things. Content drives the design, so I prepare myself for the content to come in, then I design. When the content is in, now we agree, we plan with the editor, the sub-editor or the chief sub working on the stories. Then they will allocate and say this page has sports, this page has business, this page has special report. Then now that one determines how you're going to design a page. because how you design a news page is different from how you're going to design, for example, a sports page, how you're going to design a magazine, for example, like Pulse, which is really fashion and blitz. Then you can come to a product like a business product. Again, how you handle it is different from how you handle each other products.
Once the graphics team is done, the designs are sent back to the quality editors for final checks and approval before it is sent to the press machines. This is the final step in this stage. A quality editor checks for any gaps or flaws that may still exist in the story of the design.
If the quality editor is satisfied, everything is okay, the photos are okay, the headline is okay, then that is when the page comes to be as a production editor. So my role is also make sure there is nothing that is missing. Then after that, now I can produce what we call produce the page to CTP.
CTP. What is CTP? Good question. I'm glad you asked. Stay tuned.
My name is John Teka. I work here in this room. We call it CTP. It's computer to plate.
Teka here turns the soft copy newspaper into a plate, which is then used in the printing process.
Na hizo page mbili zenye umenipatia, hiyo 32, hiyo 20 kwa plan na 21. Niko nataka niachilie at least nisonge mbele kidogo.
Nini? 32 na 33?
32 na 33.
Acha nimshtue.
You can view 4 pages. When it's ready, I command it now to a machine. When releasing the PDFs, we have 4 colors: the cyan, the magenta, black, and yellow. That's we call them process color. Processed color. They are full color. So it comes here. The machine. This is an image processor machine. It has 3 sections: the loader, the image setter, and the processor. So the loader. What we do here on the loader, we load the plates, our aluminum plates.
Okay, let's explain what Teka is saying in simpler English. In a process that takes around 5 minutes, the image processor machine imprints the soft copy newspaper onto a plate. A plate is a metallic sheet made of aluminum. The machine uses laser technology to imprint images onto the blue side of the plate. This plate already has images of the newspaper on it, even if you can't see with your naked eye. They then use special chemicals to wash off the areas without images.
Now this is the chemical. We call it developer. It washes the image areas, leaving the image areas. This is the end product.
The plate comes out of the other end of the machine with complete images, but it is not yet done.
We still have some work to do on it. We profile it so that when it goes to the machine uses cylinders. So when they are going to mount it, it can hold on the machine now, on the cylinders now.
Profiling the plate means they punch hooks and also bend the plate so that it can hold on to the printing machine, which is in the next stage.
At first you didn't see this, but now you can see. From there, we take it to the bending machine. You see it bends both sides. Now it's ready to go to the machine now. It's now ready. You can see It was flat, now you can see it, both sides are.
Time for the actual printing, but before we proceed, here is a fun fact. Did you know that the Standard newspaper is one of the oldest newspaper in Kenya? It was founded in 1902 as the African Standard by Alibahi Mullah Jivanjee, an Indian businessman who later sold it to two British businessmen, that is Anderson and Mayer, who later named it the East African Standard. The paper changed its name several times over the years until it settled on the Standard in 1977. It is currently owned by the Standard Group PLC, which also owns KTN TV station and Radio Maisha. Stay tuned for more interesting facts. In order to print tomorrow's newspaper, we will need paper and ink. A lot of paper and a lot of ink. As the newspaper plate is being prepared in the CTP room, teams are loading rolls of paper onto the printing press. 4 different colors of ink are prepared in the ink room and flows through pipes to the press machine. When everything is set, the plate from the CTP room is brought in to begin the printing process. We meet Alemba.
So after kupata plate kutoka CTP, inakuja hapa penye tunafanya plate mounting. Na tunafanya mounting kulingana na colors. Kwa kila unit kuna 4 units. So kwa kila unit kuna cyan na magenta. Ukipanda juu kuna yellow na black. Na tunatumia those 4 printing colors, process colors. So kama ukiangalia hii imeandikwa magenta, unakuja unaimount kwa unit ya magenta. Unaimount kwa hiyo group.
This is why the plate was punched and bent in the CTP room.
After mounting plates unahakikisha pages ziko zote. Tuna preset, tunatumia the computer, tuna preset. Ukipreset inks inachukua, unaona kama hapa kuna images, ink itachukua, kuna hizi keys za ink duct, tunaweka ink hapa. So kuna keys, hii kama ni ink ya magenta, ya cyan, na pia hiyo kuna ink ya magenta. So nikisema kupreset, kuna electrical keys hapa chini. Ukifinya huko kwa mashini inachukua mahali penye kuna images. Inafungua mahali penye kuna images. So tukianza, mahali hakuna images haitachukua rangi. Na mahali kuna images ndio inachukua rangi.
This is how the printer unit works. The plates are mounted to cylinders on both sides of the printing unit. The plate transfers the inked image to a rubber roller, also called a blanket. This is because the plate is metallic and might damage the thin sheet of paper. The blanket prints the pages on the paper. The sheet of paper is passed in between the blankets on opposite sides of the unit to print both sides of the paper. The machine starts moving slowly at first as technicians are doing color corrections and quality checks. Specialized cameras are used to read the correct colors throughout the printing process, and adjustments are made accordingly. When everything checks out, the speed picks up. This printing press can produce up to 37,000 copies in 1 hour. The next step is where the printed newspapers are cut and folded. The standard newspaper uses a machine called the folder unit to cut and fold the newspaper into sections and arrange the pages in the correct order automatically. The initial copies, about 400 or so, are called waste paper. They are used for color correction. Those are sold to recyclers to make other products such as tissue paper.
So gazeti zikifika hapa zinapita kwa hii mashini inaitwa ferrag, zinakuwa collected na hizi zinaenda mail room sasa.
This conveyor system called ferrag picks up the completed newspapers from the folder unit and transports them to the mail room, where they are bundled, wrapped and prepared for dispatch and distribution.
So this is the mail room.
There is a very interesting and efficient system in the mailroom to handle the bundling, strapping, wrapping and dispatch of newspapers. Here is John explaining the process.
So here we have the line master, where you have the chain and the grippers. So from the press hall, you come all the way to the mail room. So here, all the way, normally we have bad copies drop in here. So after asserting that all the copies are good of good quality, that's when you go all the way to the MTS. So the MTS is a multi-stacker, where we have the copies are being separated according to the order. So from here, we have the ejector, which ejects the copies all the way to the conveyor. So from the conveyor, we come this other side, where you have the printer. So the printer prints the label according to the number of copies, the destination, and the vendor, the name of the vendor.
From here, the papers are strapped together to form a bundle, then sent onto the conveyor. This conveyor system has bundle pushers for different routes. A scanner reads the barcode on the label, then intelligently decides which pusher the bundle goes to. If, for example, the bundle is for Eldoret, the system automatically directs the bundle to the Eldoret pusher. On the other side of the pusher, there are teams picking up the bundles and loading them onto the transport vehicles. The Standard Group Press prints tens of thousands of copies per day and distributes them to various towns and cities across Kenya through their network of distributors, agents and vendors. The distribution starts with the farthest locations. The Standard newspaper said their mission is to inform, educate and entertain its readers with quality journalism and creative content. It also engages with its audience through its digital and online platforms such as Standard Digital, which offers breaking news, live TV streaming, podcasts, e-paper and blogs. The Standard is more than just a newspaper. It is part of Kenya's history and culture, and a partner in the development and progress. After all, it's the Standard. The most expensive newspaper ever sold was a Romanian newspaper called Zimbrulu and Vulturulu. It was sold at an auction in Switzerland for over 90 million shillings in 2006. This is because it was the only surviving copy of the newspaper published on November 11th, 1858 in Moldavia. It is now 11 p.m. The first vehicles are on their way to deliver your newspaper. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the Standard newspaper and the newspaper printing process. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching and see you next time.